The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. Hello and welcome to all my viewers from around the world. Magpie 842 coming at you guys with another 1v1 battle. Featuring today the US forces of insane DevM spawning in the north. While to the south we have the Wermacht forces of Jove. Keen ear and eyed watchers may recall that I casted a game of Jove's previously on my channel. So it'll be intriguing to see him play on a different map against a different foe. Neither player having chosen their commander off the bat, and the map today for our entertainment is Crossing in the Woods. I think this is possibly my favourite 1v1 map. It's almost symmetrical with virtually no spawn bias. There's a nice kind of middle creek, this running through no man's land. So there's a lot of negative cover and a lot of back and forth over this kind of no man's land through the middle of the map. The rest of the map is punctuated by sparse buildings. Cover, I would say, is on the lower side of medium dense. There are like wide open roads and things, but there's also good hard points. You know, you've got a bit of heavy cover in these bunkers, a bit of heavy cover behind this truck. You know, you're never too far away from some form of heavy and or light cover, which makes for some pretty cool infantry battles in the early mid phases of the game, as both players vie for position and try to maximize the DPS of their respective units. It seems like Insane DevM has chosen to go for the rifle company, giving him access to the elite riflemen at this early juncture in the game. Starting with 2 squads of riflemen against the 2 squads of grenadiers from the Wermacht player, so fairly sort of symmetrical opening, or at least as much as possible between these two very different teams. Excuse me here. Sorry about that. Sunday morning casting, feeling a little bit rustic from the night before, so just chugging into a cup of English breakfast tea, just to keep me going, here. And we might have a little bit of first contact here on the left, as a squad of grenadiers here engaging at maximum range with their KAR 98Ks, which is their advantage. Although in negative cover, that's probably not something you want to do. And now a squad of veteran riflemen, luckily enough spawned at 2-star veterancy coming in here. And despite the fact that these grenadiers are in high cover, you've got to think that if the riflemen can get close, and they have, used their maximum rate of fire, and the fact that they're already 2-star vet, you may be able to swing this fight, especially with the flankers, another squad of riflemen coming from the rear. And the 2 grenadier squads now being bolstered by a sniper who's moving into the map, just right now at the very back. So we'll see how much Zimeja is able to change the face of this battle, see how many headshots he's able to rack up. A sniper, a fantastic choice, I think, against America, because they don't really get any indirect fire options for quite some time, whereas if you were playing against, I don't know, Soviet team, you know, they can get the mortar, they can get the Zisgun barrage, they can get a scout car and run him down, and there we go, the first headshot, pow, shot through the woods, out for the major there, forcing these riflemen back, indeed forcing a full squad retreat, fair enough. So, yeah, able to make an impact with his very first bullet was Zimeja. Sorry, I always call him Zimeja, just because he's clearly modelled on Ed Harris's role in Enemy at the Gates. So let's have a look at the Wermacht tech. So he's not quite gone to escalate to battle phase 1, which I imagine he'll do as soon as he remembers to click on it. He has constructed the infantry company, so of course he has, because he's got a sniper, but he also has the option there to, and grenadier squads, but he also has the option to add what is this? Yeah, mortar team to his forces, which another decent choice against American forces, especially as he already have a sniper, but I imagine he'll get an MG before that, and before even that he's gone for his 3rd squad of grenadiers. We have a utility car coming out for the American team, so an interesting choice. This gives you some pretty decent anti-infantry vehicle, and you can hop the crew out. They have a couple of bazookas, so that helps you bring the fight against vehicles as things transition into the early mid-game. Squad of riflemen forced to fall back. The advances of the major and a squad of pioneers too much. Let's see if he can pick off one of these retreating riflemen. Here comes the shot. Oh no, he's aiming to the north. He's going to try and grab one of these guys. Pow! Just takes that guy out of the line. And how many kills are we up to now? 4 headshots scored with the major. And just just jockeying for position here, still having not yet chosen a commander. Let's review the options for Jove. So he's got the close air support doctrine, a potent commander, gives you 4 outputs for munitions and 1 way of getting additional munitions. Most of the outputs for these munitions are pretty powerful aircraft strikes, and there's also the recon, which can never be underestimated. Recon's such an important ability to have. He also has the elite troops doctrine, which gives him the option to trade manpower and fuel for veterancy on his units, whilst providing the late game option of the Type Ace, which was in a game I casted earlier, actually. So a very, very, very potent unit, but you only get the 1, so a bit of an all-in, a bit of a gambit, and also you have to survive to the 17 command points stage of the game to deploy it, so oftentimes too late. And one of my favourite commanders, the Mobile Defense Doctrine. He gets counterattack tactics, fantastic when you remember to use it, which for me is just like the hardest thing ever. He gets Panzer Tactician, which buffs all of your vehicles with the smoke launchers. Indeed, I forgot to mention, so does Elite Troops Doctrine. He also gets Panzer Tactician. He gets the Ostripan Reserves, who arrive with random veterancy and the chance of an LMG-42. He gets the chance to call in a Puma and a Command Tank, which are both very useful units, and ensure a strong mid-phase game. The utility card doing some good work against these grenadiers. Let's see. Oh, there was an opportunity to get a Panzerfaust in there, but declined. The utility card not a particularly valuable target. Maybe he just thought he'd try and save his grenadiers or save his munitions. The sniper here just angling for position. He might just want to try and take a shot at these rear echelon troops. He knows they're there because the point is being decapped, so he knows if he just walks a little further forward here. So if I select this unit, the sniper, and I turn on the fog of war, you can see his line of sight here just short, but he knows that there must be a unit there. I'd quite like to see him just move a little further into the fog of war there. But I understand that he wants to be cautious, stay in cover, especially with the prospect of a scout car, which he doesn't know is relocated to the right flank. Map control pretty much favouring the Allies at this point, who are beginning to make some headway insofar as the scores go, but still fairly even there. And let's take a look at the tech choices. We have the scout cars Zwei-100 Zwanzig, and now we understand why there wasn't a Panzerfaust used, because of course this will just be able to destroy the utility car should it find it, and have a good engagement there. Now is a good chance for Panzerfaust though, because if you were to break the engine on this, then the 222 doesn't even have to chase it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If he's on the spot, he'll be able to jump the crew out and use the bazookas to turn the fire out. But he's choosing at the moment to back up, which seems fair. The 222 is going to go for a dive, skewing. He wants to be a little bit careful, because again, as I say, there we go, so the crew are going to get out and repair, but they do also have those bazookas, so he's going to be content to sit back and use the 222 to neutralise these riflemen. And that is what's going to happen. The sniper on the other flank being forced to fall back. Not sure what happened there. I guess these riflemen got the jump on the sniper. And the 222 up to 1-star veterancy. It's quite a cheap vehicle, so you can see here it even has only 3 kills and a bit of work against the utility car. Enough to put it up a veterancy level because it's such a cheap vehicle. I know it costs 30 fuel, but how much manpower is a scout car these days? 200. Oh, it's only 20 fuel. Wow, even cheaper than I thought. And 230 manpower, so a really worthy investment for any aspiring Wermacht player who fancies themselves with decent vehicle micro, which at this stage of play, at this level of play, I would say most of them do. So for the American player, we've got an ambulance joining the front, so he'll be able to heal his troops and reinforce at the front, which will enable him to sustain a bit more pressure and be a bit more dominant with positional plays for the victory points in the middle of the map. Detection mode here being activated on the scout car. This is the veterancy ability. For 10 munitions, it reveals enemy infantry on the minimap for a short period of time. And here comes the scout car, the utility car rather. And I wonder if the 222, he's kind of awkwardly shuffling it around. It really just wants to dive in against this. There we go. Now is he going to decrew it and just get the double? Yeah, here comes Zooks, and the Zooks are going to be good. Here we go. Oh, is he going to get the scout car out? The main gun has been destroyed. This is a scout car in jeopardy and destroyed by the light fire from the rifles and the BAR. Just too much there. The Major up to 7 headshots, and having to fall back at the moment in the face of aggression from the American riflemen, who have pretty much now taken the entire left side of the map, and proceeding to take all the valuable resources, the fuel point especially, but also the munitions, which for the Wermacht team are actually crucial. Wermacht is a team that lives or dies on its munitions upgrade. Things like LMG-42s, upgrades for your vehicles, the ability to use Fausts, bundle grenades, that kind of stuff. They're what make or break plays, I find often for the Wermacht, and if you starve them of those munitions, yeah, I think it's safe to say it hurts them more than other factions. For example, Soviets are a faction which can pretty much get by without munitions. I mean, yeah, sure, they're nice to have, but they're not like essential in the same way that they are when you play as Wermacht.
We've been spotted by enemy armor!
mines being put to good use here, destroying that utility cart, and there is a bazooka available for grab, and it is taken. Now these grenadiers, I think, probably want to get out of there as the major comes in for support. Pow! Scoring another headshot, putting them up to 8 kills. A pack gun also coming out onto the field, and we'll see if that's able to do anything. I mean, there's no vehicles on the field right now, but a bit of prophylactic packing is always good. I always like to get a pack out when I feel like I've got the manpower and a suitable window to do so, because if you wait till you see that vehicle, oftentimes the pack will feel like it's too late. LMG-42 upgrades now being taken with some of the Grenadier squads, able to actually trade with a flamethrower-equipped rifle squad. The flamethrower, of course, one of the luxuries you get for playing as the rifleman commander.
Okay, that does it.
Now, Wermacht beginning to fall behind on score, approximately 94 points behind right now, and that's only going to get bigger as the 3 points in allied hands, but a massive land grab, grabbing 4 points at once on the left flank. Where's the major? He needs to get in here and start doing some sniping. Oh, he's helping in the middle of the map. Up to 1-star veterancy now, so here's the ability to use the incendiary round. It is expensive at 45 munitions, but quite potent as well. This rifleman squad. Oh, I wonder if he's going to get the squad wipe on these grenadiers, if he's paying attention, and he does, and he gets the bazooka back. Kinda insult to injury, and if he's feeling super lucky, he can torch the sniper, but he's not going to, and this gives the sniper a chance to get the squad wipe. And there it is! So good. Even a little comment from the sniper there. Fantastic, and that bazooka, which has now traded hands 3 times, gonna finally belong to these Volks. Sorry, they're not even Volks, they're Ostrapen who have arrived at 3-star vet and have a flamethrower and a bazooka. Quite the squad there for Jove, who's now beginning to take the middle victory point and just stabilise his score a little bit there, which is a really good thing for him. His munition's still very taxed, and the only reason I'm pointing this out is because he still has a squad of grenadiers here who don't have an LMG-42. Sniper squad coming in to do some work, but now we have a Stuart joining the field. And will we see the pack gun repositioned? Yes, already in position. So Jove well on his toes here. Absolutely gets a cracking around from the pack into that Stuart and is going to force it back as the sniper claims another kill up to 16 and nearly 2-star. And once you get those snipers to 2-star, the rate of fire starts ramping up. They become very, very efficient. The Ostrapen squad of ages here, the ultimate squad. I'm going to call them like the Uberstrapen squad. Seeing off the rifleman on the middle bridge. There's another Ostrapen squad here. Going to manoeuvre into cover. And, wow. Flamethrower is being used to maximum effect here by Insane. And here comes the Uberstrapen squad flanking in. As an LMG-42 Grenadier squad also coming in, is going to get into this heavy cover, and that looks like an ideal situation. Possibly a good shot for a rifle grenade here, but not going to take it, and very well done as well not to take it, because there was an instant fallback, and also his munitions are so low that you can't really just take a hunter shot like that. You really need to save it for things that you know are going to have an effect, such as purchasing an LMG-42 for this squad here. And I wonder if we'll see that upgrade. The pack gun though being flustered as the Stuart comes in, but a Puma being called in for Jove, and that is just another unit, which is it's such a good counter for the Stuart, and it's going to stalk, and it just needs one more hit. Oh no! But the stunning shot from the Stuart coming out, combined with a rifle grenade from the rifleman squad to get the engine damage. The Puma's going to get the final hit into the rear armor of the Stuart, but the question now is, can it survive? Being stalked by a captain squad which has 2 Zooks. Now here comes the assisting infantry, but you've got to think that Zook is close enough. Here comes the shot. No! Oh my goodness, is he going to get the shot? He gets a shot, but it misses. And that's going to be a fallback from the captain squad, who was down to 2 men. The rifleman now going to try and finish the job with another rifle grenade. Getting close, even flaming for damage. But the LMG Grenadiers, oh, just not quite enough. And the Puma gets hunted down, which is 80 fuel. 80 fuel. And in the middle of all that, I heard the Major, who now has 19 kills, getting promoted to rank 2. But how much fuel is a Stuart? It is only 70 fuel, so a Stuart for a Puma actually works out. And I know it wasn't that simple, but you always want to have a look at these things to see how to judge them, how to value them.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits?
And yeah, so that's
Green as green can be. Well,
that's an unlucky
grab your
turn of
shit
events, I
and
think,
follow
for
me.
Jove, who I think handled things pretty well there. The victory point's now even again, so nobody bleeding out in terms of score, and we'll have to see what the tech choices are moving into the mid-game. So we've got another Stuart coming out. That's going to be the fuel expenditure for Insane, who's also got another 100 fuel, and we'll see if he's going to go for the Major as well. I think the Major comes from this building, so how much is the Major? 120 fuel? Yeah. So he'll probably want to get the Major next, and he's close on to that. Meanwhile, the Wermacht player has 90 fuel, his squad on the right here being forced to fall back. Now let's take a look at the tech choices. He has not actually gone to escalate to Battle Phase 2, and that'll be something he'll want to do if he's going to see off a potential major tech from the American player. I mean, yeah, you can see off Shermans and motor carriages with packs, it's just difficult, and it's much easier to do if you have Panzers or Panthers. Even an Osprey is actually pretty decent against the American forces, especially when you look at the present lineup. So yeah, the Oberstruppen here, getting a couple of Zook rounds into the Stuart there of Insane. Going to force it back to the Bay Bridge. And skirmish erupting on the left side of the map as Insane wants to commit his forces to this victory point. And a flamethrower is going to flank these 3-star grenadiers and force a fallback. Now, I'm not the best Wermacht player at all, but I'm always struck by the fact that I hardly ever see Wermacht players building half-tracks, and like, he has this building. The half-track is only 30 fuel. I say only because fuel is so crucial, but for 30 fuel he doesn't have to fall these squads back. If he just had a half-track here, he could just be constantly reinforcing, and it would just be such pressure. And I think he would have held this without needing to fall back any squads, and well, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. You be the judge. Is that worth 30 fuel? I don't know, but I do just quite like using half-tracks when I play with Wermacht. Anyway. The BAR on the right flank, BAR from the captain's squad, probably going to be enough to get rid of these grenadiers. And a grenade coming in, is there going to be a fallback there? So, spending some munitions to secure that point. As another Stuart, so that's now 2 Stuarts for Insane coming out. And I wonder if this is going to force a Puma from Jove. How much manpower is a Puma? 270, so he'll be able to deploy one shortly. And like, he literally has eyes on both of the... oh no, the sniper is in jeopardy. Oh, and that's all it takes. A split second of inattention, a sniper out of cover, and instant death. Ever the way with snipers. And because they were so much, of course, that's like pretty much a level of veterancy on that Stuart. Sorry, an unlucky turn of events for Jove there, but one which he should be able to recover from. Now, let's see, he does have the manpower for the Puma, and he also has the, if he saves up to 360, he can get the command tank, so actually I think we're probably going to see him save for that. Puma's fantastic and really good against the 2 Stuarts, but the command tank brings a little bit more armor, a bit more versatility, and also, of course, the ability to buff nearby Wermacht forces, and yeah, that could be really useful. Taking a look at the top left and the top right of the screen to assess the forces of each team. We have the command tank finally there, just entering the battlefield for Jove. I quite like this skin, the Panzergrau East. It's pretty cool. And this Stuart is actually going to put pressure on the entrance of the base, so being quite aggressive is insane, speaking to the confidence of him as a player, and also that he knows when to push, he knows when he knows to attack where your opponent is not. Get more Sun Tzu on us there. This squad of Ostruppen don't have any anti-tank. MG42 is going to set up, but that's not good enough either. But the command tank, kind of awkwardly in the corner. I wonder what it's doing all the way in there. As the other Stuart having an engine damage, getting hit by a Panzerfaust, but falling back in good order on the left flank. The Stuart on the right flank is going to get out of there. I don't know if he saw the command tank or not there. I imagine he did though, because the exit was pretty hasty. And let's take a look at the scores here. So the Axis player behind by about 80 points, 75 points. So anyway, yeah, this command tank going to start doing some work in mid, forcing an immediate fallback. That was very sharp from the American player, who decided not to even trade for damage and just put his squad back. He just opted to retreat it in the face of the Panzer command tank, which seemed fair. Jove now up to 40 fuel, so I wonder if he's going to... Has he researched tech? No, he has not, and we have a battle now on the left flank. So the captain's spraying bazookas into the command tank, and this Stuart is really running rampant, getting right up behind the MG. And oh, 2 pack guns here though, in a decent position, and they're going to do something about this Stuart. Well, the second round just missing. It's down to the command tank to finish this one. The stun being used, and Pan's attack being used at a very early point. I'm not sure if that was worth it, because he's coming forward anyway. I think that was just a panic Panzer tech use there. I would have held on to that smoke package. Because it's not like the tank's actually in jeopardy. But, you know, sometimes you just hear your tank yell something over the radio and then you just click it and hit Panzer attack because, you know, sometimes if you don't, you lose it. So I can understand that entirely. The command tank securing the left flank, and Jove making a bit of a land grab through the middle of the map, which is a really good option, a good idea. He knows he has the forces of Insane pretty much on the run, and if we look at the map, I mean, the only map presence at the moment for the American player are these two squads, which aren't really in a position to threaten this land grab. So, able to grab a victory point, get the munitions point down. I'd like to see him send another squad over here to grab this and start helping grab these 2 points. The command tank being used aggressively here just to whittle down these rifles. He needs to be slightly careful with it. Here comes a Stuart and the captain. So this is the main anti-tank capability for the American player. He needs to be careful here. There we go. There's the vision lock damage. These abilities from the Stuart, really annoying. Really annoying when used against tanks that are so much bigger. Here we are, the Panzer Commander just popping the hatch here to survey the situation. Seeing what he can see, one of the cool touches in this game. Very atmospheric.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
Now Ostrapin getting flames to the north and a grenade out on them, that's a good fallback. As the Stuart pushing the right flank again, runs into the Oberstruppen. The Oberstruppen are like, yes, we have dealt with countless Stuarts in our time, but we're actually going to fall back because, oh my god. So yeah, falling back there. Thought they were going to go for a couple more Zoot runs, maybe threaten that Stuart, but
all done over here. Lousy patch of dirt is
apparently
ours.
not. These 2 pack guns, I would love it if he would put one just behind these canoes, because that would like lock down like a large area here and also prevent him from using this area for like running tanks through this avenue. And he could put the other pack gun like on this tree actually for like some kind of nice symmetry, or even on this sandbags actually. On the sandbags would be really nice because we've got the Stuart coming through here. And the American player has been showing that he favours using a Stuart on each flank. No, there's the Stuart. Sorry, I thought he lost a Stuart. He has lost a Stuart. He's lost the one on this flank. Where did that die? Sorry about that. I seem to have missed the demise of one of the Stuarts. But anyway, the American forces now securing themselves a major, and with that tech are going to buy a Sherman, which is on the construction tab now. Oh my goodness, the Stuart just doing the work. Oh, these 3-star grenadiers need to get out. They're so fragile. Oof. The Stuart, the round on that autocannon on the main gun, pretty dangerous. It's not autocannon. Pretty dangerous against infantry, so that 3-star squad of grenadiers had to get out. And just sort of strafing the American forces, this Panzer command tank, up to 8 kills, 1-star level of veterancy, so that hasn't locked it, the Blitzkrieg tactics. Running into the captain now, and also with the Stuart on support with its anti-tank abilities, using the vision block damage, and stunning the crew. Why is he coming back in? This is so risky. Taking more Zeus. I think we should get this command tank out. I'm getting a little bit nervous because there's a Sherman coming. It's not on the battlefield yet, but it's about to be. Sure, it forces these guys out, but this command tank is at less than half health. And there's a Sherman coming, and if I was insane right now, I'd just set that to armor-piercing rounds and sprint it over there as fast as his little tracks could carry it. We'll see if that happens.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. We are ready for action.
LMG-42 team spotting the flamethrower on this squad and getting to long range, as is their preferred range. Forcing them back and securing, or hopefully securing, the middle victory point once again for the Axis forces. And the American forces are in control of the left side of the map, not grabbing the victory point yet, prioritising denying fuel to the Axis team.
Set, over. Squad is back to full strength.
The command tank being repaired. I like this. I've seen too many players recently in my cast being really rash, reckless even with their command tanks. But Jove choosing not to follow in the path of those reckless commanders before him and actually looking after this command tank. So I'd like to see it get some high veterancy and see what it can do. I know it's the performance of his main gun is actually inferior to the standard Panzer IV, but I've not seen it at high veterancy. So let's just check the veterancy upgrades. What does it get? Improved armoured skirts and improved weapon tracking, fair enough, and mobility and rate of fire. Okay, so the gun never gets any upgrades in terms of power, but the much better rate of fire and weapon tracking could actually make it into a decent combat unit, so we'll have to see that. command tank coming to the front just in time to give the armor buff to all of these units, which I really like. But an artillery call-in being used by the American player, using almost all of his munitions. What could this be? This is the white phosphorus smoke barrage. And Jove knows it. He's going to try and get his forces out of there, but those pack gun crew are getting a little bit singed, losing a man or two, but I think generally getting out of the way in good order as the command tank supporting the middle bridge. Now where's the Sherman going to be committed for the American player? Stuart's cycling in. Okay, the Sherman's died somewhere. I seem to be really good at missing these things. Okay, here it is. So I guess the two pack guns firing from here were able to take that out. Sorry about that. Missed that entirely. So they weren't just sitting there absorbing white phosphorus for the health of their lungs. They were actually battering a Sherman to death. And with that fuel exchange, you've got to feel like Jove is in firm command of this game. If he could just shore up the victory points, I feel really good for him. He's only like 70 points behind though, so it's not like the most urgent thing in the world. He has at least 300 more to lean on, so he can take his time, choose what points he wants to grab. Here we go, actually going for one of the command points, so good for him. Fanning out some infantry on the left flank. I wonder if he puts a pack gun here actually, this is like a decent position where it can capture and provide decent anti-tanks as well. And getting hit by an M1 anti-tank gun. There we go, using Panzer Tactician, just getting back. The command tank now nearly up to 2 stars veteran, so he needs a couple more hits here just to feel like veterancy bar. And mass repair, reinforce, rearm here for the German troops. They're all coming back out, and it will be shortly the same case for the American troops. And this ambulance seems to just be being used in a capacity to heal troops at the HQ, but I'd quite like to see it being pushed out, perhaps even just to here, with the Major in this heavy cover, to use this as a forward fallback point, which will be really nicely positioned to put pressure all over the map. Whoa, the Stuart against infantry is just grimy, killing 2 guys with 1 shell there. And he's going to try and run down these guys, 1-star veteran with a mine detector package on them. Getting some unlucky hits here, not really doing a lot is the Stuart. He's going to push quite far, he's pushing quite deep. He sees the pack gun's going to get a good hit. Oh, it's the stunning hit as well. Is he going to get another shell into it? Oh, it's a miss, but the command tank's going to come in to help. Scoring a decent hit, the pack gun now out of range, so it's down to the command tank. Command tank sort of trying to cut off the retreat for this Stuart, who realises, but I think too late. Oh no! But he hasn't set his turret to fire only at tanks, so the turret rotated the wrong way behind the Stuart. A little reprieve, but not for long. And these 2 rifleman squads are going to possibly use the anti-tank. Yeah, there they go, the anti-tank rifle grenade has been used. But I think the command tank should be able to retreat from there, and it must be nearly veteran 3 now. Yeah, like one more hit from any of its weapons should bet it up. And the tank gun coming across to try and stalk. Maybe the command tank isn't out of jeopardy of achieving its armoured skirts. Oh, just in the nick of time to repulse around from the M1 anti-tank gun, which is going to push even further. He wants a piece of this command tank, while on the left of the map, completely deserted by American forces. The Axis are 5 infantry squads, including a weapon team and 3 grenadiers and the Oberstruppen, are going to make a massive land grab. And that's going to deny a lot of resources to the American player, who's really only got 1 of the 4 resource points, upgraded resource points, fuel or munition points on the map. So that's going to be quite. It's going to be. He's going to have to try and grab some land. Oh, the incendiary ammo being used on the MP-42. And we have a motor carriage. The I think this thing's got a cool name, but I'm just going to call it the motor carriage. Oh, and a decent grenade. That's an MG team which is going to get out of there, and this pack gun now also exposed. The American player, insane, repairing his units using the vehicle crews. But if we look at the top left and top right of the map, a Sherman is coming now for the American player, but there are generally more forces and I think slightly better equipped to deal with this army from the Axis team. So right now the unit composition is kind of favouring the Axis player as we move to the half an hour mark in this game. So well into the mid game now. I mean, it doesn't really feel like the late game because we don't have a lot of units, we don't have a lot of armor, and we certainly don't have any sort of tier 3 units out for the Wermacht player, which actually, sorry, I'm just going to skip away from the battle to see, he has not escalated to battle phase 3, so that is not something he's actually considering just yet. I think given the amount of fuel and manpower he's got, he could actually go to battle phase 3 quite comfortably right now. I mean, he could get another command, you can only have 1 command tank, but he could get a Puma or something. I think that this command tank needs to get off the bridge. No, he's pushing it forwards. Really? Oh, because there's no AT gun here. Oh, he killed the AT gun. Well, in which case, fair enough. Sorry, a little slow on the uptake there as our old caster Magpie 42. Oh, and now he's going to focus fire on the AT gun and try and destroy it, so it's not an issue moving forwards. Again, I quite like this. It's a good idea. Wow, if the command tank could actually hit it, and the pack gun showing it how it's done. And the AT gun is in fact destroyed before the Russians can get their hands on it. And, the anti-tank forces now pretty much consisting of just this Sherman, the captain having long since died for the American player, insane. And he's in a bit of a bind. He really needs a lot more anti-tank. Motor car just screaming around onto it. Oh, look at the rate of fire on that thing. I think it's going to start trying to get this pack gun. As an infantry rush, it's going to try and take this middle victory point. It's got to be careful. You see an anti-tank rifle grenade, you can very easily see that. And that would leave the command tank with a damaged engine. You know, a bit of a risky spot and able to be stalked by the Sherman, which is actually being pinged back by the pack gun. Both forces have to retreat, but in the end the upper hand going to the Axis, who are able to maintain control over the victory point on the bridge and therefore continue to bleed down the score of the American player, who actually still has a lead of about 90 points, so that's pretty good. And a fully fledged Panzer IV with the long barrel coming out onto the field, and he should buy the MG42 upgrade and just start launching an assault, possibly going down the right flank and coming in behind the motor carriage. It'd be really cool, actually. I mean, obviously he doesn't know this because he's got fog of war, but there's no American forces on the right hand side of the map, so he could come through here, sweep round these trees, come out here, and just hit the soft underbelly here of the American forces, this ambulance, this motor carriage available for destruction. Probably also come in behind this damaged Sherman and clean that up, actually. And at the same time, if he was to push forward with the command tank, well, you can see what I'm getting at, it would be a nice move. And actually, he's beginning to feel out that way with some infantry, and like sensing that there's no resistance, he may just send the Panzer IV this way. Or not, no, actually going to commit it to the northern flank. But Jove, with many options at his disposal right now, and with a strong grip on the game at the moment, commanding as he does all victory points, and the motor car is just going to nudge forwards, just going to take some shots at these Strippen. Near miss there. Now he could also send the Panzer IV down this dirt track here and along this side of the river to come out to just here and start attacking these forces here. And the nice thing about attacking from this position is that the American forces here, of course, will have a hard time getting through and attacking. And I think line of sight is obscured a little bit through here as well. All these Strippen just lucking out on these shots, not being slammed one by the motor carriage. We've all been there. Ooh, there we go. See, the motor carriage just has such potent anti-infantry capabilities. When it hits, it really hurts. And now the main Panzer IV rushing through, and we're going to see a Panzerfaust too. We're not going to see a Panzerfaust. I'm very surprised at that. I thought we would have seen a Panzerfaust for sure to break the engine and allow the two Panzer IVs to stalk the Sherman. It may not make the difference in the end, because the Panzer IV getting good hits into the Sherman. An AT gun here though, and the motor car. Oh, I don't know, Jove needs to be careful, he needs to get round this AT gun really quick, but the AT gun is on point and turns, he needs infantry support. Where are the squads? Where are the squads? Oh, these two Panzer IVs are in jeopardy right now. He's making a play, this is the commitment, he's decided to make or break the game right now, Jove, and he's going to get the Sherman, and I think he's going to get the motor car. He's already got the AT gun, so that Panzer IV, super weak, survives the hit from the motor car. It's going to try and get out of there, and the command tank taking the final hit on the motor car. And hats off, the judgment there from Jove. He knew that he could break the American army. It was risky, it was close, he nearly lost to Panzer IV, but he knew he could break it, and he did. And that was well executed with the Grenadiers, running around, kind of coming from this, so his forces began here, came round kind of like almost like to cut off the American forces by coming through here, so there was basically no fallback to be had from the American position here. And taking out all of the fuel investments for the American army, the Sherman, the motor car, and when you look at the remaining forces in the top left and top right, so the American just down to 3 units here was insane. So a good game played from both commanders. Interesting to see the heavy reliance on Stuarts, and they're actually very high effect in like the early game. Also interesting to see how a Puma, which I would have normally thought would have cleaned that situation up, was only able to deal with one of the 3, I think we saw Stuarts. And so really kind of not worth the AT fuel. But then Jove relying on the command tank and using it very effectively, and here it ends the game on a 2.5 bars of veterancy with 30 kills. So yeah, really leveraging that unit for maximum effect, and if we look at the rest of his army, there are a lot of veterancy stars there, so safe to say, Jove, very efficient there, commanding the map, and rather than going for a victory point win, just coming in for the destruction of his opponent's army to force him out of the game. So, well played there, and yeah, I believe that concludes the cast. So, Magpie 842, signing out once again. See you guys.